How's it going, everyone? It is finally time to start our tomato plants for the 2026 season. I can't believe the day has already come to start the seeds again. It felt like just yesterday we were starting them for last year, and we had such a great tomato season last year. I was so happy with how everything went, and I'm really excited for this year and what's to come. And I'm starting about 20 tomatoes today, and I got some new varieties that I'm really excited about. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first tomato we are going to be starting today is the Oxycon Pink tomato. I believe this tomato has some Mexican heritage. It's kind of like a fluted beefsteak, similar to a Costoluto Genovese or Fiorentino, but it's a little bit more pink in color, and it's supposed to have a really unique flavor. So this is one that I'm really looking forward to, and we're gonna go ahead and get this one going. So let me find it here. Here it is. Last year I did have some issues with some varieties and germination rate, so this year I'm going to be sowing them a little bit heavier, especially ones that I'm only doing one of. So we're gonna throw about 4 seeds in here. And just like that, the first tomato of the year has been sown, the Oxycon Pink. Next up, we have a Russian variety, I believe, or Ukrainian, and this is the Kosmanov Volkov tomato. This is a really interesting, it is Ukrainian, sorry, so named after a famous Russian cosmonaut. So it is a Ukrainian tomato, but named after a Russian person. And so it apparently has some great productivity and some really great flavor, and about, it says here, 2.5 pound fruit. I don't know how accurate that is. Last year I was under the impression that a lot of these tomatoes I was going to grow were going to be big, and some of them didn't turn out that way. Part of that is my fault and the weather, but regardless, I'm excited about this one. So let's get this one going now. The seeds are really quite large on this. I guess that's a good sign, if anything. So that is the Kosmanov Volkov. Next up, we have another tomato that's similar to the Oxycon Pink. This is the purple Kabalash. This one I believe as well is of Mexican heritage. Very similar to the Oxycon Pink, but this one is actually a purple tomato, so it's a darker type, and it's supposed to be around similar fruit and similar production. So I wanted to grow these two together to see how they did. So let's get going with this one. Smaller seeds on this one, which makes sense. I believe it's a smaller tomato. Next up, we have a variety that I'm really excited about. It's one that I have been wanting to grow for a couple of years now, and I was finally able to find seeds, and that is the Pomodoro Chioro Antico di Acqua Terme. It's, of course, an Italian variety. It's supposed to be some really large fruit, kind of more of an ox heart type tomato. So this is probably one of the tomatoes I'm most looking forward to out of all of them. Next up, we have the Black Giant tomato. This is another Russian variety. This is, of course, a darker tomato, and it's supposed to produce some really big fruit and some unique flavors. Next up is the Indian striped tomato. This apparently is very similar to the Cherokee purple, except it's supposed to be a little bit earlier and a little bit more productive. So I am curious to see how it turns out, as Cherokee purple has been one of my favorite heirloom tomatoes, and I'm hoping that this one is very good as well. Next up is the druzhba tomato. I believe this is a Bulgarian tomato. Bulgarian or Polish? I think it's Bulgarian. And this is just supposed to be a problem-free heirloom tomato. It's supposed to be extremely productive and just be very, very good and reliable in the garden. So I definitely wanted to include it for those reasons, and of course it's supposed to have some great flavors as well. So next up we have the Krajinovic Yugoslavian. This is supposed to be a very wonderful tomato, heavy producer of large pink fruit that's supposed to be very, very delicious. And of course it's of Yugoslavian background. Next up is the purple Russian tomato. Pretty self-explanatory in the name there, but it's more of like a plum style tomato, so will be good for sauces and just have some variety in the garden. Next up is the Gogosha tomato. This is a potato leaf variety with pink fruit, so similar to a lot of different potato leaf varieties where they have the big pink fruit that are very sweet and delicious. This one, I believe, again is of Ukrainian or Russian descent, and it's supposed to be a great producer and some delicious fruits. Next up is the Sylvian Gom tomato. Not sure I said that right at all, but this is a supposed to be a very large ox heart tomato. Again, I believe from Russia. Now, a few of these tomatoes here I'm actually going to be experimenting and starting in my homemade compost, mixed with some perlite and some worm castings, and that's it. So we're going to see how it does in comparison to the potting mix that I bought. So just a fun little experiment. The next variety is going to be the Carl Chucko's Big Paste tomato. This is another oxheart style tomato that's supposed to produce some very large fruit. So I'm excited for this one. As you can see, I'm trying to go after some big tomatoes this year. Last year I was a little disappointed, not with the production or with any of the plants or taste. I was more so just hoping I was going to get a few really big tomatoes, and I got a couple nice ones, but nothing that was too crazy. So this year I'm really trying to go after that. Next up we have the classic Cherokee Purple. I started it last year, but it didn't end up in my garden. It ended up in my friend's garden. So this year, maybe it will end up in my garden, maybe it won't, but it's one that I like to start every year. Next up we have the Marisol Gold tomato. This is a bicolor tomato. I don't really have the most experience growing them. I grew one year and I was kind of torn if I really liked it or not. This year I decided to try this one out and we'll see how it goes. I'm not even sure it's going to end up in my garden, but we will have to see. So next up we have some of my personal saved seed. This variety is the tomato that my father brought back from my hometown in Italy. I saved seed from one of the biggest fruits last year, and I still have the original seed that I saved. So I'm going to be growing one of each, and as well as I also have a Oxheart variety that I saved some seed from. So we're going to get going with those now. And just like that, all the tomatoes are sowed. Keep you updated on when these germinate. And yeah, hopefully it's going to be a great year. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.